As per usual, I'm here to daze and confuse any people that I've subbed, right? Dennis, Jane, if she's still watching or whatever, Earl, I'm trying to think of his tag. He sounds like an American gunslinger, right? So anyway, on with the show. My Ken Dodd's tickling stick to clean the tables with when people come and sit down. This is really funny, right? You're looking here at a tiny segment of coconut, right, which was chopped down, contents yummy and all that kind of stuff. So I turned it into an ashtray, right, because people were beginning to come here smoking cigarettes and throwing them down on the floor. And as previously seen in a recent vlog, because of the mud problem we had, I had loads of straw delivered to put down to stop our shoes or sandals getting covered in mud. So what the guys are doing, they're sitting here and, you know, fair dinkum, they don't think above and beyond the whatever. They bought some coffees, lit the ciggies up. I'm an ex-smoker, right, by a long time ago. And so I made this for them to throw their ciggy butts in. Because if they throw them down on the floor, they don't extinguish the butts before they throw them down. If the straw catches fire, right, this whole caboodle will just go up and smoke because of all the straw. So, but when my daughter came up, she said, "Oh, Daddy, what's this?" I said, "Oh, it's for people to put their ciggies in." And she didn't understand, and she looked inside and went, "Yeah," and just threw them out. Which I found incredibly funny. But anyway, on with the show. My thoughts today were about we're getting repeat customers coming here to buy our coffees who are migrant workers, because you know, labour here is I suppose it's like the Irish paddies used to be back in the UK, from Cambodia. And there's a couple of Cambodian guys come down during the morning, excuse me, and they're working for a local family business, cheap labour of course, and they've never experienced these coffee shop things, so they're trying to get into the Thai culture because they've never seen anything like this back in Cambodia. And I'm going to go off on a tangent here in a minute, but the guy he can't speak Thai at all, and he comes here on a daily basis now, and he buys he's sampling all these coffees, right? He's only about 20, something like that, 20 years old, close. And it took me back to thinking about when I used to live not far from the Cambodian border in a little township called Prasat, right? And most of the people in the villages around Prasat are aging, if not already all deceased, Cambodians fleeing from the Khmer Rouge, I think that's what they call it, the slaughtering or whatever that went on down there. I'm not into that kind of stuff. But I used to go and buy a lot of stock to sell on eBay from a market called Chong Chom, which is right on the border of Thailand and Cambodia. And the market is about maybe just half a kilometre away from the border gates. But on the other side of that border gate, there's a Cambodian casinos, and the Thais are obsessive gamblers, so they will go over, spend all their money over there and whatever. But anyway, years ago, when I was living in another province about 35 clicks from here called Tabao, a small, we're getting a twister going by. But hang on, we're getting a twister. Oh, a mini twister. Okay, it's going fast. Anyway, and I used to have to go there to, because in Thailand, if you're a foreigner, you have to leave the country every 90 days, right? Go out, but you're allowed to come back in the next 30 minutes, as long as you leave and come back. It's called the 90-day visa, which I'm subjected to this day, right? But anyway, these guys that are coming to buy these coffees, they can't speak Thai, as I've said, and I'm thinking, wow, okay, that sends me back to thinking what happened about, I can't remember how many years ago. I don't know, maybe 14, 13 years ago. I was living in Prasat, which is 18 kilometers away from the Cambodian border. And I'm sitting in my house one day, and all of a sudden my windows started rattling. Boof, boof, boof. Long story short, the Cambodians, for some reason beyond me, is a reason that they were trying to flex their muscles against Thailand, right? And that's politics. I can't go into that. But this went on for about maybe an hour, and then it all stopped suddenly. But I couldn't believe how much my house shook and rattled. I thought it was an earthquake, right? I had no idea what was going on. It just felt like a mini earthquake, and I thought, wow, but it's gone. But anyway, late on in the next day, there was such a huge activity going on, because the house that I built and the land that I bought was adjacent to a great big school with sports grounds, right? Thai school with sports grounds, football and all that kind of stuff. And all these refugees were running away from Chongchon, which is the township where I used to buy all my stuff from. And they were fleeing for safety down into Prasat, which was the Tambon, as they call it, where I was living. And I thought, what the hell's happening? But anyway, I think it was recorded that about 3,500 people fled on the backs of motorbikes, trucks, cars, tractors, anything they could find. And they all came down for about 3 days, right? I remember I was quids in at that time, and I thought, oh look, where are they going to go to the toilet, right? So I had to turn a blind eye, because they were all popping over my little fences to, relieve the problems. And I thought, how are they going to shower and do all that kind of stuff? But they, from somewhere, they found buckets of water. And it's just a memory that just sprung to me today when the kids come today from Cambodia to work as cheap labour here in Thailand. That brought that memory back to me. I'd completely forgotten about it, right? And I might actually this evening do a little bit of research and try and find out when the date was. But those 3,500, or estimated 3,500, eventually went back home because the muscle flexing just stopped. But I can believe me, the shelling, how on earth anybody, I think somebody was injured or severely injured or killed, I'm not sure, but it wasn't a lot. But the shelling was, I couldn't believe it. How could you feel that 30 kilometers away in your property with all the windows going bzzz, bzzz, So as usual, I'm off the fan, with my vlogs. I've got a new little Tillandsia air plant here. So yeah, I'll go back and click on and see how this goes. The other thing is twisters. The brolly that you see behind me, there's two of them, right? And I opened the brolly and they are embedded in big circular cable tables. And a twister went by today, woof, and just blew the bloody lot down and blew the brollies inside out. And they're expensive, right? I thought, well, amazing Thailand. So it's an opportunity for a bit of a vlog. So thanks for watching. As normal, what you see is what you get. Cheers. Gonna switch you off. As per normal. Yeah, I've got the right side now. Excuse me. Gonna switch you off. I'm gonna have to fork out a few quid and get something else better than this bloody thing.